right, guys, we're going to set up our notebook for our next chapter. So the last page that we did was page 82 right here, this angle of elevation depression. So if we turn that one, we are not going to number this page, but around this next available page, we're going to put our table of contents. So quadrilaterals. Time to move on from three-sided figures and talk about many-sided figures, specifically four-sided figures. As per usual, I like to fold that one like 1/3 back so that I can wrap it around. And then I like to leave a little tabby out so I can quickly turn to that page. Now, guys, I have to warn you, when I made these notes, I kind of goofed up a little bit. So I'm going to go real slow and explain like where I'm pulling them from. I just didn't want to waste a whole bunch of trees and have to like reprint it again. So, okay, we're looking at the back side of that. Our next numbered page is going to be 83, which I am going to put right here. So in your packet, the next page that you're looking at, shoot, let me grab this. The next page you're looking at is actually incorrect. So this one needs to be thrown away, like just completely tossed out. And then this one here, we're going to skip for a second. And then finally, that fourth page in, you're looking at two things that are the same. You're going to take that, cut it in half, and put half of it on page 83. I'm sorry, that's so confusing. So threw it away, skipped it. I'm going to take this thing that says all these crazy words on it, cut out half, save the other half for a rainy day, and I'm going to put this one here on page 83. And then turn the page. Keep grabbing two pages. And we'll have 84 and 85. Now, on 84, the one that I told you to throw away, I gave you a replacement, like one sheet at school. So, or it'll be posted as a separate one sheet. That's this one here. Okay, so we're going to take that extra one now. This is the one I told you to throw away, but then I gave you a separate sheet that we should replace it with. We're going to want to cut that right up the center here. And then the one that says polygon names on it, we're going to flip that one over so that you're looking at polygon exterior angles at the bottom. And then above that, you're going to want to see the words finding the number of sides. Okay, so we're looking at polygon exterior angle sum theorem at the bottom, finding the number of sides. And then if you fold right above these words here, you should then see that table and polygon interior show up. I'm sorry that is a little bit of a mess. I'm just trying to save the trees a little bit. You're going to want to give that one a staple, and I'm going to put that one on page 84. And then on page 85, I'm pretty sure this was the one we skipped. Yeah, the one that we skipped we can come back to now. So it looks like this. And again, you'll notice the top and the bottom are the same. So I'm just going to cut out the top rectangle. Like all three of the boxes are going to stay together. Just going to cut out this long rectangle. And again, if you want to save that other half for like scrap paper to do scratch work on, that would be good. Now this one, I'm going to take the far right square and fold that on top. And then this far left square, I'm going to actually fold behind so they get like this accordion fold. And I'm going to flip it all over so that I can see this side, and I'm going to do a tape swirl on the back of that. On page 85, and I'm just going to pop it right in the middle. Like, we'll probably just write some stuff above it and some stuff below it, so just go right in the middle there. Okay, now I'm going to be probably equally confusing after this as well. So if we turn the page, we got 86 and 87. Or do I want to be confusing? Let's just not be confusing. How about that? Let's just not. So in your packet, you should be looking at the very next page. It says properties of parallelograms. They're the same on both sides. And if you turn the page after that, there's properties of rectangles, properties of rhombi, properties of squares, properties of trapezoids, and then this weird one. So if you actually want to take all of those in your hand, so the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, all 5 of those pages have the same thing on both sides. So I'm just going to cut out the left rectangle on each one. But like, you just keep it all together. You only have to cut one, so that's kind of nice. And they are lined up, so don't freak out about that, because I know that would irritate me if they weren't all lined up. And then the right-hand side, or whichever side you don't like, you know, if you screw one up, you got a backup just in case. But all those ones, we can just say the scrap paper. Wah, wah. Sorry, trees. Okay, so we got to take one more, that next one, and cut out one of those sides as well. And save the other half for scrap paper. Okay, so taking the one that you just had, I'm going to put that on page 87 right here, and you can actually glue that one down. I'm just using tape, so I mean, if you're tape swirling, you can just tape it right down, but you're going to want to put it close to the very edge of the paper, because now we're going to take some of these and kind of like layer them. So if we go to the bottom of this stack, you should have one that says properties of trapezoids. I'm going to put that right over top of this so that I can still see this. And you can't glue it down because you need to be able to lift it up. So you're going to have to put tape over to the side here so that we can do like this lifting thing so that we can see underneath it. I just like all these together because it's all of our quadrilaterals like in one spot. Okay, so if we take a look at the next one, so going from the bottom, we next have properties of squares. So I'm going to smush that right over here so that I can still see these trapezoids. That one here. And then I think one more after that. Yeah, let's get the rhombus. So properties of rhombi, we'll put right here. And then, yeah, we'll just put these two on the other side just because I feel like I'm getting kind of close. So we should have rectangles and parallelograms next. On page 86, you can glue down rectangles because that guy's not going anywhere. I'm just going to tape swirl the back. But then when you take your parallelogram, you're going to want to scooch it to the side so you can still read properties of rectangles, and you're just going to use a piece of tape over to the side here. Okay. Alrighty, so that's 86 and 87. Kind of a mess. But I just like everything in one spot because all these things are very similar. So we get to look at it all together. If we turn the page, we should be looking at 88 and 89. And the next 3 pages that you have, we are going to have to skip. Okay, so these 3 pages here that have a whole bunch of just typing on it, like we're going to skip those 3. The next one you're looking at is this one. And we're going to flip that one over and fold the short edges in to the middle. Oh my gosh. I think this happened last time, but I just had a moment where I was like, am I even recording? And then I looked over and saw that I was. This one can go on page 88. Actually, no, I lie. I'm going to put it on 89. It kind of doesn't matter, but I'm going to put it on 89. And then if you want to cut out 2 cute little doors on either side. There we go. The next one that we have says distance formula, slope formula, midpoint, slope and distance. We're going to flip that one over. You should be looking at 4 graphs. And we'll fold the short edges in to meet in the middle. And then if you want to cut out 2 little doors, do I want to do that? Oh yeah, I can do that. One of these I can't. And then we'll glue that one on 88. Okay. Turn the page. We should be looking at 90 and 91. Oh my gosh. On page 90, we're going to take the very next page, which says distance formula, slope formula on it. We're going to flip that one over, and you should be taking a look at 2 graphs. We'll fold to meet in the middle here, and this is the one that we cannot cut 2 little doors. It just won't work out good. We'll put that one on page 90. And then the next one right here says run by and squares on the side of it. And if you take the right hand short side and fold that back like a backwards book, you should be looking at this here. And you can cut above the word prove it to get a cute little door, and that can go on page 91. That actually worked out much better than I originally planned to skip those 3 pages. I'm just thinking some things through. Okay, so if we turn the page here, this was 91 right here. And then we'll have 92 and 93. And the 3 pages that we set aside, you guys, that had all the text stuff on it, these are all just like a ton of practice problems. But again, the left and right hand side are the same. So you can literally cut straight up the middle through all 3. Oops, sorry about that. And save the other half for like scrap paper. And then we're just going to put these right in order. So the one that says decide whether a statement always, sometimes, or never true, that one we will put on 92. Can you conclude that the parallelogram is a rhombus? That'll go on 93. And then the last one we have will go on the next page, 94. So we'll get these 2. Turn the page right behind 93. We'll have 94. And this one here that's got the trapezoids at the top will go on 94. And that'll be it. I'm so sorry if that one was a little bit confusing. Hopefully we're ready to go with quadrilaterals when I see you next.